The Edendale Mall was one of the hardest hit centers within the uMgungundlovu district when violent protests erupted last week. Brookside Mall, as well as Mabulala shopping center, also bore the brunt. Now, to look at the extent of the damage in the Msunduzi Municipality, I'm joined by its mayor, Umzimkhulu Thebolla. Thebolla, a pleasure to have you on the program this afternoon. How are you recovering from the looting in your municipality?
Good afternoon to your viewers also. It's been a very hectic week indeed. Last week the city was really devastated. As you said, about 7 shopping centers were not just looted, but they were destroyed. Most of them were burnt. But we are glad now that together with businesses around the city and the people of Pietermaritzburg, we have been able now to reclaim our streets. We have been able to reclaim our city. Of course, it's still going to be a very long way because on average, whilst we are still counting, about 15,000 people have lost their jobs. But we are happy and happy because most of the businesses are committing to reinvesting in our city, which is a sign of confidence. Of course, they are looking up to the government for more security and protection, which is what we are working together with them and the provincial and the national government currently to see how best can we secure these businesses when they reinvest. But we are also grateful to those who were able to protect some of the shopping centers because had they also been destroyed, our people would be suffering by now.
Mayor Thebolla, as you continue to take stock of the extent of damages, at this point have you been able to determine the cost of the damages?
So far, we know that we have gone now beyond 2.5 billion, and that excludes the stock in various shops. Of course, each and every business is busy doing their own calculations, but I believe by the time we finalize that report, billions of rands will have been lost. But what we are talking about currently is just the infrastructure, the buildings that were destroyed. In various shopping centers, we have now gone beyond 2.5 billion rand.
And how will the municipality help those affected businesses? Do you have the means at this point?
Remember, our municipality is struggling financially. We are a municipality that has been under administration now for more than 2 years. Of course, we were at a point when we believed that we have recovered now. When this happened, we had just said to council, we believe we are at a point where we can start now to play a role that we are supposed to be playing, not just in the province, but in the country. Because remember, Pietermaritzburg is one of the primary cities in South Africa that is supposed to be contributing a lot, not just to its people, but to the entire country. With this, we are, of course, trying to work with them, but we believe those that might get assistance from us are in the main the small businesses. We know very well that our economy has been thriving in the main from the informal business, which employs the majority of the people of our city. We are working with them. We will see how best can we assist. Of course, we are not making any promises. We are waiting for the president to make an announcement on how best are we going to assist the business, not just in the city, but in the country to recover. But we are glad that the big ones have already made a commitment to reinvest in our city.
Now, Mayor Thebolla, speaking about the impact on jobs, you alluded to this a bit earlier, and the one example we have is about 2,000 jobs being lost at one Pietermaritzburg mall. Do you anticipate that more jobs could be lost as a result?
Indeed, like we are saying, at Edendale Mall alone, to be precise, is 2,300 people who were permanently employed. At Mabulala Mall, about 300 people who have been permanently employed. That is 2,500 people without jobs. If you look at the value chain, we are not sure yet as to how many people will be losing their jobs as a result of the unrest. But if you look at 2,500 people, it means there will be between 15 to 20,000 that will go to bed without anything on their tables. If you were to take on average one person looking after 5 family members, it means there are many people who are going to suffer indeed.
Now, malls as well as businesses were not the only places that were targeted. There were also about 32 schools and education district offices that were also vandalized. Just speak to us about this.
Yes, it's really damaged. It's in Ward 8 and then the education department offices and our offices. What is said is that the offices that were targeted, municipal offices, are those that were trying to bring closer to the people, for people to be able to get our services without having to travel to the city. Most of them are in rural areas, and they were all targeted, and it is sad because destroying education facilities in rural areas, we fail to understand what it is that the people were looking for. But the report says those who targeted schools knew very well what they were looking for, because they did not just go and burn schools, but they knew where the computer lab is. They knew exactly what they wanted. So we believe the work of the police will be a bit easy to recover and make arrests where it needs be.
Now, in the same breath, we also heard from the Basic Education Minister, who confirmed that schools will reopen on Monday. How will you be helping the affected schools reopen?
We have been working together with the schools. Since the outbreak of COVID-19, we made sure, and we are going to continue to ensure that over and above ensuring the safety of our kids, but they do still get services that are expected from us, like provision of water and electricity where it needs to be. But we are working together. Just yesterday, we had a meeting with the Department of Education, the district office here, just to ensure that we are ready when the schools will open on Monday. We are ready to go back to schools. Of course, the damaged schools, they'll have to make a plan and see how best to accommodate the learners there. But we will be working with them to ensure safety, first of all. We are glad that our city was one of the first cities, of course, to start working in the country after the unrest, because this only took a matter of 2 days, Monday and Tuesday, and on Wednesday we were back on the streets trying to reclaim our city, cleaning the streets and doing all.
Now, it's important to note that we are still waiting for confirmation from the President as to whether schools will be opening on Monday. But speaking about announcements to be made by the President, of course, he did also announce the deployment of SANDF troops to respond to the unrest around parts of the country. In your area, would you say this has helped?
It has indeed helped. In fact, the pressure that we put on the national government assisted a lot, because we started making a call for the deployment of the army on the first day of the unrest. Hence, all the national key points were protected on the same day. Of course, on that day, it was not enough, but immediately after the announcement by the President, we started to see many soldiers on our streets, or they call them many boots on the streets, and yes, it helped a lot. We can, any corner, any street corner, we are able now to see the army, and we have seen a huge difference indeed.
I'd also like you to give a parting shot or a message to the people of Msunduzi, especially as they pick up the pieces. And it's also very important for us to note that we are still dealing with the pandemic.
Yes, you see, what I was saying just before that, as we said, we were saying we are a city now getting back on our feet. We were also very happy because the Delta variant had not yet been detected in our city. As the whole country is on the third wave, we were very happy to note that we were not yet the epicenter. We are worried now, and a call that we are making to our people is that COVID-19 is still with us, and we believe unless everybody gets vaccinated, it's still going to be here for quite some time. Hence, we always say to people they must observe all the protocols. But of course, we will be working with all spheres of government to ensure that we continue the vaccination program, which unfortunately some of the areas that were affected are vaccination centers. But we will make sure that we continue to provide the services to our people as expected, of course. But we also call for calmness. Of course, we have been able to work with our people, volunteers from all walks of life, NGOs, NPOs, businesses were with us between last Wednesday and today. It's more than 10,000 people who have been on our street volunteering their services to clean the street, and it's people from all races. That's encouraging, and it says the people of Msunduzi are one now, and they are ready and looking forward to building this united Msunduzi of ours.
Well, Mayor, thank you very much for your time. That was Msunduzi Municipality Mayor Umzimkhulu Thebolla speaking to us about the unrest that broke out in the area in recent weeks. He also speaks about people having to pick up the pieces in the aftermath of that violence.